Did Doge destroy the Washington, D.C. housing market? You're listening to Home Sellers Advantage. I'm your host, Aaron Zapata.
And I'm your other host, Todd Anderson. We are the Bald Brothers team at Impact Realty Group with Real Broker, and we are here to give you the Home Sellers Advantage.
You can find us online at www.baldbrothers.tv. Again, that's baldbrothers.tv.
Or you can call us at 833-305-BALD. That's 833-305-2253.
That's a great question that we're going to answer today. Maybe we're going to answer. Because we might not have all the answers. In fact, as you read the headlines, we've got some of them right here. Well, first of all, welcome. If you're on our YouTube channel, we have a new background today. I don't know if we're going to keep it.
Yeah, we'll see how long this lasts. It's kind of weird. I'm used to looking at you.
Yeah.
Now I don't know where to look. I got to look at the camera. That's a little strange. There's nobody over there.
I'm used to looking at the audience of one. All right, so we've got some things to talk about today. And that is the reality of real estate housing market all over the country, but focusing today specifically on Washington, D.C.
Yeah, the headlines are, everybody, we talked a little bit about Doge, I think this last episode or a couple episodes ago, the Department of Government Efficiency. And of course, what has been big in the headlines is people getting their notice that they no longer have a job, government employees in several different areas.
Yeah, and it's no surprise that the housing market most closest to government employees, which is centered in Washington, D.C., would begin to experience the first repercussions of the efficiency rollout plan.
Yeah, that's where our government is.
Yeah, and so a lot of people that work for the United States government live and work in Washington, D.C. And so there's a couple of things going on, and we Googled just the headlines. What's going on in Washington, D.C.? And here's a couple of the headlines from Housing Wire. The impact of job cuts on the D.C. housing market. Fox Business, from return to office to federal layoffs, how Trump policies are affecting D.C. housing market. The Hindustan Times, real estate market crash fears in Washington, D.C. as citizens claim 1,000s of selling homes. That's from Hindustan. I don't quite understand that headline. Newsweek, D.C. house prices slashed as Doge targets federal workers. Fortune, housing markets with a lot of federal workers have been thrown into disarray by Trump's RTO order. That would be the return to office order. So here we see.
You can kind of see the slant in some of these publications based on how they title the article.
And it is going back and forth and back and forth. And in fact, the Housing Wire article by Logan Matashami, thank
Logan
you.
Matashami.
Thank you. He points out that we have to just pump the brakes a little bit because there are fearmongers, there are headline writers, and all that is to get you to read more and to go into a frenzy.
Yeah.
So how does it compare to the rest of the world?
Yeah, that's a good question because what we did is we actually, we're here in Southern California and we're pretty local to the city of Yorba Linda. Our main office is in Placentia, but Yorba Linda is just next door. And we actually pulled up some statistics showing the housing market in Washington, D.C. versus Yorba Linda. Now, these are two very different markets, and so it's especially with what's going on, we thought we'd try to make a stark contrast between the two. And this is dated for today's date, February the 17th. When you're actually watching this, we don't know, but today is the 17th. And it says that as of today in the city of Yorba Linda, the active listings has decreased. There's a total of 40 homes on the market in the city of Yorba Linda. And in Washington, D.C., now this is a large metropolitan area, but there's a total inventory of 710. But what we find in this metric is the whether it's a seller's market or a buyer's market. It's definitely much more of a seller's market in Yorba Linda. In Washington, D.C., it says in this article it's slightly a seller's advantage, but it's really more of a buyer's market in D.C. Just because of the inventory and the buyers that are out there.
Right, and compared to Yorba Linda, it is more of a buyer's market. So here's what we have to analyze. We have to say, okay, year over year, where are we at and where are we at based on a few years ago?
Yeah.
And this is the Housing Wire image. And I encourage you to go over to housingwire.com and you can just look at this graph that I'm showing you on the camera here.
Now, for those of you who are tuning in on an audio podcast only, you can't see what Aaron just showed up on the held up to the screen, but this is a graph that is showing kind of a bunny hops, and basically what we're seeing in each little peak and valley. Each little valley is kind of the beginning of the year, and we can see that the inventory always jumps. It always increases from the beginning of the year towards the middle of the year, and then as it gets towards the end of the year, it decreases. It's just a continuous flow. This is going back all the way to, I think, 2016, 2015. So we're about a 10-year comparison. I'll hold this up to the camera again, but you can see that when you get to the year, the inventory always increases as you're in January and moving on towards the middle of the year, and then it comes back down a little bit.
And this is the unsold inventory. This is properties that are just active on the market without offers. And he's right. There's this bunny hop. It's a nice, perfectly defined bell curve, year after year after year. It's at a low at the beginning of the year, and then it drops back to a low at the end of the year. The only anomaly is in the year 2020. And here's what happened in 2020. COVID happened.
Yep.
And interest rates dropped to a historic low. And anybody and everybody that could buy a home was buying a home. And so that's the only time. I mean, we do see it, that it's like a bell curve. It goes up a little bit at the beginning and then drops. But the total number of unsold property in Washington, D.C. in the year 2020 to 2021 just dropped significantly. And it sits there for 2021, 22, 23, 24. And then right now, it is a little bit higher than 23 and 24, but still lower than it was in 2020, 2019, going all the way back to the beginning of this chart.
Yeah, and just a reminder, this is unsold inventory.
Right. This is like property that just sits there for waiting for buyers to make offers on. So we're less than half of where we were in a historical normal back in 2015 through 2019. Less than half, maybe even a third of unsold inventory in Washington, D.C. And so the reason we pulled
and so what that is saying, and let me make sure we're both on the same page that people understand, is that the homes that are on the market, and basically homes are selling. You know, back in 2018, there was a lot more unsold inventory on the market. Homes that just basically are sitting on the market, not selling, and we're significantly less than we were back in 2018, 2019.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So we thought, man, how does this compare to our area? And Todd already brought this up, but in terms of some of the smaller, minute details, if you look at the Washington market, you've got average days on market is 153 for the homes. So that's a pretty long time. If we were at 153 days on average here in Southern California, we would feel like it's a buyer's market.
5 months.
We would be like freaked out.
Yeah.
Because everything normally sells faster. But our number right now is 63 days on market. And that 63 days on market has kind of hovered there for the last year or so, depending on the seasonality.
Yeah.
So we're pretty much not changed here. And if you look at the line from average days on market for Washington, D.C., it has gone up. So we are seeing that it is taking longer for homes to sell. Now, there's a couple of reasons. Number one is we do have more homes on the market than historically normal, even for the last 4 years. Number two, interest rates are still historically high compared to where they have been.
Yeah.
We're at that 7%. So the number of active buyers is down. And with the potential layoffs, we have another element thrown into the Washington, D.C. housing market that causes people to put any pause that they have to on whether or not they're going to buy it.
Yeah.
But I read another article that said, hey, we've got this return to office order. If I don't head back to the office, like I'm fired.
I'm out of a job. Yeah.
Right. But I live too far away because in the work from home environment,
you could live anywhere.
You could live on the outskirts or you could live anywhere.
What about I live in Southern California?
Yes.
I live in Yorba Linda.
You do. And you work for Washington. Perfect. Now you got to go back to work in Washington, D.C., and you have to make the decision, am I going to move closer? And so they are saying that, this decrease in number of buyers because some are losing, we also have way more that are getting notices that they need to come back.
Yeah.
And so we have people moving back into Washington, D.C., which I think is balancing out the market.
Yeah.
So if you had to ask me.
Yeah. Let me ask you, Aaron.
Oh, will you? Will you ask me?
I'm asking you.
What are you asking me?
I don't know. Tell me what I'm asking you.
You gotta make up that decision on your own. What are you asking me, Todd?
How does this affect the real estate market in California?
In California?
Yeah.
It has very little effect in California. It really does.
It does. Yeah, it does. Some could say, well, if people are people moving out of Washington, D.C. and relocating to other parts of the country, if they have lost their job or there's going to be some migration of job, perhaps there might be some effect in California, but we don't anticipate it having a significant impact on California real estate.
Yeah. As always at this time of year, we see inventory start to climb, and we see prices will follow that. As demand picks up going into summer, we do know that, that's just our normal market.
Yeah.
We sell fewer in the beginning of the year. We sell fewer at the end of the year. We sell a lot more in the middle 8 months of the year.
Yep. We are seeing exactly right now. Yeah. We're seeing in the real estate market exactly what we expected to see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So should we be alarmed? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Do we have to keep tabs of these things? Absolutely.
Of course.
Now, if a Doge department all of a sudden came to California and started to audit California and the California policies and all of the jobs associated to the government of California, I think we would start to see the same fears happen in Sacramento and then kind of roll outwards, in a concentric circle.
Yeah. Now, if it's centralized towards Sacramento, then yes, we will see, because we primarily representing Southern California, and we would definitely see that emanate much more in our locality.
That's right. So we'd like to make you guys an offer today. We have access to your zip code. And if you would like a specific housing report in your zip code, we can tell you how many properties are active. We can tell you what the median sales price is. We can tell you all of those things. And we'd like to provide that report to you, but you do need to email us or you need to contact us. And you can do that by calling 833-305-BALD. That's BALD. You can go over to baldbrothers.tv. You can fill out our subscription there and just tell us what you're looking for. We will call you personally, either Todd or myself, and provide you a report for your specific zip code. So I'd also like to say thank you to Blue Elevator. He's my coach and friend who is a supporter of our show. Thank you, Ken. And also to Beacon, Escrow, and Crosswalk Mortgage.
All right.
Is that it?
That's it.
Are you sure?
That's the episode for today. I mean, we covered something that's relevant that's happening in the news today. I don't know how many people are aware of how these things are all interrelated, but it is kind of interesting to see what's happening on the different coasts, and especially with DC. It's a very unique metric just for that particular locality.
It is. And so if you're thinking about buying or selling somewhere in the United States, we are the Bald Brothers. We can help find a great referral partner anywhere.
If you want to buy in Washington, D.C.,
we can help.
Call the Bald Brothers team. We can hook you up.
I do know some agents there.
Yeah.
In fact, if you go back to my podcast, The Real Impact Show, and you listen to some of the earlier ones, I actually have a number of agents in the DC metro area that I know personally. And so if you are thinking about buying or selling, we definitely want to put you in contact with a professional there.
That's right.
All right. And if you live in Montana and it's too cold right now and you're like, I got to get out, we can find you a realtor there too. Right?
That's right.
Anywhere.
We can find one anywhere. And actually we know realtors in pretty much every part of the country.
Okay, so that's it for today. Thanks for hanging out, and until next time, God bless you. Thanks for listening to the Home Seller's Advantage. The Bald Brothers team is a licensed DBA of Real Broker, licensed by the California Department of Real Estate, number 02022-092. Again, we do not give any real estate, legal, or financial advice. If you'd like to reach out to us, you can call us at 833-305-BALD, or you can reach us online at baldbrothers.tv. Equal housing opportunity.